Hello again, everyone. Thanks for clicking on another one of my videos. First thing you'll probably notice if you took the 40 or so minutes to watch my, I think it was like my philosophy of watch collecting video, you'll see quite a big difference. Oh, actually, there's something missing. That needs to go there. We'll just pop that there for now. Some things came and some things went. Not shortly after I filmed that video, oddly enough. So yeah, let's just dive right into the main topic here, which is the Xeric Triptych. I'm trying to remember, there weren't a ton of videos on these watches. So I guess, you know, here's my take on it. I got this in January of this year. It had been, I forget when I first saw one of these. Sometime in 2024, I became aware of it and was immediately struck by it because, I mean, come on, it's just so unique. I'd seen watches, you know, if you've been looking at watches for any amount of time, you know, you've seen some really weird stuff from like Resence or De Bethune or like Barrel Hand, Richard Mille. I think Resence is another really cool one. You know, or even some of those like casino roulette wheel watches, different solar system watches. There's a lot of really interesting stuff out there. So when I saw this and then saw how much the MSRP was, I was like, oh man, I'm putting this on my list right now because it is so cool, and especially for $1,100. Now, I did not pay $1,100 for this. I think it was on watches.com or like Watch Warehouse. I honestly can't remember. Some kind of New Year's clearance event. And this was, I went back and looked at my credit card statement. It was $550, shipped, taxed, out the door to my doorstep. And oh, you know, actually, I didn't bring the box. I might take a little pause and go get the box here. All right, and we're back. So, yeah, right off the bat, I did not pay $1,100. This was $550 to my door from whatever clearance event was happening on watches.com or something or other. I can't remember. So, like some of my other videos, we're not going to talk about specs. If you're here, you already know the specs of the watch. And then I'll get my negatives out of the way so we can end on a nice positive note and encouraging words. So let's set this aside for a quick second. Con number one, and this is probably the biggest one. I really do not feel that this watch is worth the $1,100 that it is listed for on Xeric's website, especially considering the delivery contents. So I bought this watch brand new, and we've got this really cheap cardboard box. You know, this is not the like official box, you know, but the watch box, so to speak, but it does have their branding on it. The watch box is this like hard shell headphone container thing. You know, again, branded Xeric. Open it up. You know, this high density foam kind of thing. We've got our warranty card, a little UV light, which is, you know, kind of cute. It's, you know, surprisingly, this does have some lume on it. Not that it's really a watch that you buy with the purpose of nighttime legibility, but yeah, they give you this little thing, which I completely forgot about until this moment. I kind of wanted to put it on my keychain or something. Oh yeah, hey look, watches.com. There you go. So if you're watching this video, you know, wait for a holiday sale, summer sale, something, because it'll probably happen again when you can get these watches. And I think they had like almost all of the Xeric offerings on their website. So yeah. Yeah, this is not, objectively, this does not feel like an $1,100 watch. Mostly, partly because of the delivery contents, and partly because, like, I get that this is kind of a complex thing, going from taking a base Miyota movement and turning it into this. We've got 3 independently turning little sub-dial wheels on this larger axis. And, I'm by no means an engineer, but I would hazard a guess that taking an automatic movement, a base Miyota caliber, and making it do this is not difficult, or it is difficult and is not cheap. That being said, if we can, I'll see if we can really get in here. Where's my little light? You can see, I'm trying to get the light just right. Of course, I can't use my phone as a light. This bevel here with the minutes indicator, it is, it's not solid. It's just a flat piece that is leaned up. So behind it, it's hollow, between the white of the dial and this bevel is just hollow underneath. And while the dial does have this really cool fan texture, if we look, I don't know if I, oh, sorry, I'm getting off camera here. It just, a lot of these components, the white white of dial, the black subdials, this bevel here, maybe the bevel is metal, but like these, a lot of this other stuff kind of just looks a little plasticky. It doesn't look bad. This is a really elegant, attractive timepiece. It just doesn't seem like metal to me. That's all. And my notes on the computer monitor have gone away. Come back. So yeah, it just doesn't feel like an $1,100 watch. Maybe my perspective is a little bit skewed because so many of the watches I've bought used. Like for comparison, I got this Grand Seiko quartz, on the Grand Seiko bracelet, no box, no papers, just the watch. In pretty good shape. It's a little scratched up, but I got this for $10.22 out the door. And yeah, it's just a hard, when I got this for less than 1,100, this at 1,100 is a hard sell, no matter how cool it is. All right. Those are my only big complaints, which are frankly addressed by buying the watch on a steep sale, for half off. Now, my next couple of points are really just nitpicking. On paper, this is, I forget what the thickness is, but this wears and looks thicker than it is on paper. Maybe because of the lug design kind of accentuates the display back. So if we look at that next to, let's grab, the SPB 213, which is a fairly flat case back. So on the wrist and to the eye, the Seiko kind of tricks you into thinking it's thinner than it is, whereas this one doesn't really. I don't know. I think it just seems thicker on the wrist than it does on on paper. Let's finish putting this strap on here. So my wrist, for reference, is, I think it's like 6.5, 6 3/4. I really can't remember. Like everyone's, it swells up and goes down. So it's, by no means is it too thick. It's just thicker than it just seems thicker than the paper would tell you it is. And yeah, so from that perspective, where I do sort of think of this as a dress watch, that deceiving thickness takes away a little bit of elegance to me. Again, I'm really nitpicking here on this. Another nitpick is, so if we're kind of thinking in the realm of watches, dress watches, sport watches, something like this is very dressy, especially on a black leather bracelet. Something, the Zodiac here is definitely sporty. Especially on an oyster bracelet or like a NATO, the funky colors just make it a really fun, casual watch. Or certainly this, it's a diver, but we can sport it up a little bit. So this, with the black and white, what am I getting at? Just like the size, the finish, the aesthetic. It does have, I think it's very dressy. I think this would look really good with a tux or a suit. But because it's also funky, it is, I don't think I'm crazy in saying that this is a funky watch. It kind of pulls it back into the sport category, which is a little problematic because unlike all of my watches, really, I worry a little bit about dinging this one up, because I don't know why, I just feel like part of the aesthetic of this watch is just, that it's very clean. And even like, now I don't mind dinging up this watch because I bought it used, and it came pre-dinged up. So if it gets, as long as the crystal stays in good shape, I'm happy. But whereas this, I'm not gonna wear this to Disney. I'm not gonna wear this to the beach. I'm not gonna wear this when I go to like an IMSA or SCCA. If I'm at Lime Rock, or like a racetrack doing, automotive photography. I'm not going to wear this at the gym or bike riding, washing the car, stuff like that. In the context of my collection, this is for date night. This is for going out with friends, maybe wearing a blazer. Generally, anytime I want to wear something interesting, and I know, and I'm going to be in a location or a setting that I know the watch isn't in danger. And that's okay. That's why we have multiple watches. Let's kind of bring everything back down here. Zoom out. Nope. Go back. There we go. That's why we have multiple watches. That's why we collect watches, is because very seldom does one watch do everything that we need or want to do in our lives. And even if we have one watch that can do anything, we like to have other watches too, because that is this disease. So, yeah, I have, in the context of this, that is, that's the purpose of this watch. I have plenty, of go anywhere, do anything watch. If I'm, I can, this, especially certainly the G-Shock. If I'm worried about, if I'm going to be swimming or if I'm going to be active in some way. All right. So pros. For $500, this thing is awesome. Like we touched on in the beginning of this video, it is very hard to to find something more unique and more interesting for under $1,000, even sometimes for under $5,000 or $10,000. There's, you know, a lot of the alternative ways of displaying time seem to be in kind of the 10K plus range. So, you know, for this to have something this unique for under $1,000 is really cool. You do get, I really love this, the custom rotor on this. You kind of get like this like, you know, metallic flake on the edge. The first thing I think of is like a diamond saw blade is what I'm thinking of on this. It's yeah, it's very cool. And really that's about the only biggest and only pro with this is it's just so cool. I think there's, you know, it's all to, in a sense, it's a shame that like I don't get to see, or so rarely get to see that, you know, that motion during the day when I'm wearing it. But yeah, frankly, it's just cool. Out of the box, this was pretty accurate. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but it was less than plus minus 10 seconds a day. It was, you know, which is more than can be said for, you know, some of the other. Certainly this Seiko is like minus 30 plus 15, I don't know, something silly. But yeah, at like plus or minus 10, this was pretty darned accurate. In the context of my collection, this is the fun watch. This is the conversation piece. Before this, I had an Alpina Regulator limited edition. You know, the blue, kind of the blue vertical teak dial looking one, which was really cool. And I do miss that watch. It was very fun, but it was quite big for my wrist in hindsight. You know, now that I've gotten used to like this, and tried on some smaller Omega Aquaterras, excuse me, I have come to the conclusion that 45 millimeters really is too big for my wrist. And oh, my notes have gone away again. Really got to work on that. And given the color scheme of the Alpina, it was much sportier than this watch. But so like I'd said earlier, where I feel like this could pass for a dress watch. This Xeric comes in a lot of different colors. You know, you've got green, you've got certain, you know, all black dial, you've got blue dials, you've got some weird like mother of pearl, or I think there might be even an aventurine dial of some sort. So there's if you like a wandering hour, there's gonna be a color that fits into your collection. I really struggled to choose between this and the blue and the green. I probably ruled out the green because it also had some gold in it. And I was like, that's, you know, I don't know if I want to go gold yet. And then for some reason at the time I was like, I kind of was like, blue, I feel like I've had a lot of blue watches in my day. Now, of course, I've had, I'm trying to think. The Alpina was blue. I had another blue Seiko. I had a blue quartz chrono thing a while ago. I don't know, I just felt like I felt like I've had enough of blue. But now looking at it, it's like, okay, I've actually got a lot of black dials right now. And I could use some more color. But that was, you know, that's also why we have this bad boy. So yeah, bit of a ramble, not much organization. this this watch really, some watches look cool on the internet and don't really translate in person. This one does. This really is as fun to look at in person as it is fun to look at on Instagram and YouTube or wherever. So if you think you like it, I can almost guarantee that you're gonna like. If you think you like it on the internet, that I can almost guarantee that you're gonna like it in person. It's really fun. It's really different, and yeah, that's about it. People do notice it. They say, "Hey, what's that? How do you how does that work?" And certainly, how the heck do you tell the time? I get why don't we can end there. If you haven't figured it out already, the hour points at the minute. So right now, well, actually, it's actually 5:04, but it's indicating 8:30. That would be the time. And then, of course, as we approach the hour, your next one comes in. So you know 8:60 or 9 o'clock, and bingo. And then we've got that cool rotation there. Oh, that's so awesome. I love the fan blade texture on the dial. That adds a lot. I feel like anything else would be too distracting, but that's that fan blade or that like swept fan blade print stamping is so subtle you can almost barely see it. It's yeah. Anyway, that's my spiel on this watch. We'll get to let's zoom out. Later on in the year, we'll get to this. I need some more time with it, and B, it's right now it's February in Connecticut. There's still a foot of snow on the ground. This is I love this so far, but it's very much a summer watch. So I'll review this when we get into summer. After I've experienced it in summer and spring. And I have, of course, an army of blue and orange straps to go with it. So yeah, that's my spiel on the Xeric. If you like it, wait for it to go on sale. I think $550 out the door is fair. And that's it. Have fun.